Welcome back to another episode of Honest About the Irish final score, I should say, from Notre Dame's from South Bend. Notre Dame 52, South Florida nothing. Story of the game was the running back by Notre Dame. Excuse my camera going blurry right there because it's a piece of junk and I need to upgrade to one. I will do that very shortly once I have the finances to afford that, because the camera I want is $900 and this piece of crap webcam that I bought at Staples is really pissing me off and I want to throw it through the wall. So unfortunately, every once in a while, you will see me throw the camera at the wall out of frustration. And it won't be over Notre Dame because they played very well today, but just because the camera is a piece of junk. I digress. Back to the Notre Dame. Oh, before I start the Notre Dame game, of course, I've got to show my Batman love, because today is official Batman Day, as he's sitting right there with his Notre Dame helmet on, and of course, all my Batman movies that I have laid down here for you guys to see. By the way, speaking of Batman, those of you who love Batman, you have not seen this, and if you do love Batman and you still haven't seen this, then I question your Batman fandomness, if that's even a word. Remember, grammar doesn't exist on this channel. Make sure you watch this, the animated series in the 90s. It is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. Mark Hamill, yes, Luke Skywalker, the voice of Joker. This is the best adaptation of Batman out there. I don't care what anyone says. So make sure you tune into that and you watch that. I really hope you guys tuned into the Notre Dame game and you were probably thinking about Uncle B-Man there saying, well, Notre Dame is winning pretty easily, 52-0. Today was the story of the running back and the story of Tommy Tremble by Notre Dame, who is a very impressive tight end. And by the way, Tommy Tremble, I should say, as I'm starting to tremble around my words, not to sound like Uncle Joe there for a quick second, but Tommy Tremble is very, very impressive. He's a very impressive tight end who can play every position. That's what it seemed like. He was all over the field today on the offensive line, had a couple runs there, even a couple of receptions, and great blocking tight end. I mean, he's a jack of all trades. He might as well have just been the kicker as well, because he's a force. He's a definite force. And Notre Dame's offense today was a definite force, and so was their offensive line. It's good to see these blowout wins, 52-0. Notre Dame outgained in yardage South Florida by 428 to 231. This game was over in the second quarter. It was 35-0 at halftime. And Notre Dame still played very well in the second half. Every once in a while, you see these teams up by a lot of touchdowns, and they kind of digress a little bit in the second half. But Notre Dame didn't do that. They played very hard until the last seconds of the fourth quarter, and I was very impressed by that. Also, I was very impressed than more than last week, and that was Ian Book. Ian Book played very well today. He went 12 for 19, 143 yards, no interceptions, no passing touchdowns, but he did have 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 of them on a quarterback sneak, and 1 he ran in on a wheel route there in the first quarter. And, just much more impressive than last week Notre Dame was, offensively, defensively, all assets of the game. The only negative thing was that the field goal kicker Dorr missed 1 kick, but you know what? That's going to happen. But a 52-0 game like that, there isn't a lot of negativity. So I'm very happy. As you can see, I was dancing around before I started this video. Now, what can we learn about this game? Yes, it's not Clemson. Yes, it's not a harder opponent than South Florida is. Notre Dame will play harder opponents throughout the season. What I learned today is that Notre Dame played much better than last week. They must have listened to the criticism. They listened to their coaches. They had good practices, and they came out and they played on fire, which I really wanted them to see. I really wanted them to do, because if they would have played the way they did last week against Duke, against South Florida today, I would have been a little bit more concerned. But that being said, they came out, played great, was on fire, and very, very impressed indeed. And being that it's on the day of the Batman Day, it makes it even better. Like, I am in a good mood right now, and I'm probably going to drink some tequila after this and smoke a cigar in my backyard and watch the sunset, because it is a beautiful day here in Northwest Indiana. Now for South Florida. South Florida just had a terrible game. Yes, they lost 52-0, but their special teams is one of the worst special teams I have seen in college football in a long time, and their special teams got beat up really badly today. Their punter had 2 snaps over his head. One he missed for a touchdown, and the one he was able to kick it out, but it only went about 20 yards. But they just had a ferocious day, South Florida did, on special teams. So that was unfortunate for them. And also, they, in the first quarter there, they had that first drive. They went down the field a little bit, got to, I believe, the Notre Dame 35, and they stalled a little bit. South Florida has a lot of speed, a lot of quickness. I think maybe if they were coached a little better, they were prepared a little better, they might have been in this game a little more. But you can't say when it's a 52-0 score. But I just think it's unfortunate that there were special teams of the day that they had today, because you don't want to see kids lose that badly. But, however, I want to see Michigan lose that badly to every team. And I don't care how young these kids are. And speaking of Michigan, the Big Ten announced yesterday that they are going to resume their season starting October 24th, I believe. I'm not very sure. It's either October 21st or 24th. I'm not sure. It's about a month away. The Michigan is going to play against Minnesota. I believe that is a home game for Michigan. I mean, it seems like they always play at home. They never have any road games. I could be mistaken about that. But I'm pretty sure if Michigan starts 5-1 or 5-0 or 6-0, I should say, they'll have Michigan in the top 3, and they'll shoot them from wherever they are now to the top 3, because Michigan is the greatest football program ever that's won more national championships than Alabama. Yes, you can tell I'm being sarcastic, because you all know that we do not give Michigan any credit on this channel. If Michigan had won today over South Florida 52-0, I would not give Michigan any credit. I'd be negative towards South Florida. That's just the way it is, because we do not like Michigan on this channel, and Uncle B-Man hates Michigan. And I'm pretty sure Batman right there, the Dark Knight himself, does not like Michigan. So I'm going to keep this show short, guys, because there'll be better ones. I'm pretty much, when Notre Dame will play against Clemson, there'll be a little bit more cussing in that, but there will be no cussing today because Notre Dame played great. I am going to give you my players of the game. Obviously, like I spoke his name, Tommy Trumbull, or Trimble. I can never pronounce his name right. He's a jack of all trades. That's what I call him. He can play any position on that offensive field. I mean, fullback, running back, tight end, receiver. He's a great blocker, too. Great tight end blocker for the run in the pass. Like, he absolutely dominant force on the offensive line there. Just great asset that Notre Dame has. And the offensive line also is my key players of the game today, because they played much better than they did last week. And I was a little concerned about the way they started off against Duke very slowly in South Bend. But today, much better, and thank you. And also third, because the offensive line was second, and the jack of all trades, Tommy Trimble, was first. Third player of the game for Notre Dame, and that is Ian Book. I thought Ian Book played very well today. Even though he didn't have a touchdown pass, he was very efficient on passing. He also had 3 rushing touchdowns, which is tied for a record for him. Very impressive. I love seeing quarterbacks in college run out of the pocket and have the pass option ability, and he was able to run, or pass option, I should say, ability, and he was able to score 3 touchdowns on the run, 2 of them on quarterback sneaks and 1 on a wheel route, and he played very, very well today, and I'm very impressed with Ian Book today. Much better, and just overall, the whole team played much better today. And next weekend's game is an early game. It's 11 a.m. Central here where I live in Northwest Indiana. They play at Wake Forest. That game will be on ABC. It'll be Notre Dame's first road game. It'll be interesting to see how they play on the road, even though there won't be a lot of fans. I don't even know if Wake Forest has fans at all. So it's just been a weird year, and 2020 has been a weird year. But I want to thank you guys for being able to join me and watch this show. I did have a half-hour podcast the other night about why I fell out of love with Star Wars. I think I could have done a little better. I know the microphone was a little distorted. It might be a little distorted today. I need to get better equipment. I'm on a shoestring budget. But I will be finishing up that Why I've Fallen Out of Love with Star Wars Part 2. It's more of a hypothetical scenario. What if the left and the Republicans and were Star Wars, how different would Star Wars be? Like, let's say if the politics that we have today ran the galaxy of Star Wars and the Emperor never existed, how different would it be? And it's going to be a little bit of a joke piece. And I'll have a little bit of little puns in there, too, about why Star Wars was ruined for me as well by the SJW characters. And one more thing, I want to give a shout-out to Seabone Filmister of Notre Dame. I know I pronounced his name wrong, too. I butcher a lot of names, guys. You know what? I'm doing this for fun as a hobby. I'm an amateur. I suck at this. So you know what? I really don't care if I screw up. And by the way, like I said, grammar doesn't exist on here. This is a grammar-free world. Okay, so all you Grammy Nazis out there, you need to relax. It's calm down. I'm not being paid by anybody. Until I start getting paid by somebody, then I'll have to work on my grammar and my handwriting. But Seabone Flemister, I think that's how you say his name, 13 carries, 126 yards, 1 touchdown. And of course, my guy, I like him very much, Chris Tyree, 8 carries and 65 yards. I'm going to watch out for him. I like that kid a lot. And then also Kyren Williams, 10 carries for 62 yards. So today was the day of the running back from Notre Dame. A lot of rushing in that game. Ian Book's passing was very crisp and very clean and effective in the first half. So very impressed with today's game. Final score again, 52-0 as I recap this show. Thanks for the likes and the subscribers and all the feedback you guys give me. Please leave a comment below. Give me a little constructive criticism. I probably could have read you guys out more stats today, but when it's a game like 52-0, you're a little positive. You know, I gave you all their keys. There wasn't really any cons in this game except maybe that missed field goal by Dort, and that's it. But you know what? That's me being petty. I'm not even going to criticize him. But Notre Dame just played very well today, and I was very impressed. And that is pretty much it. And please understand, forgive me about the camera going in and out, blurring in and out. I don't like it at all. I need to get a new camera. The camera I want to get is over $950, so I'm saving up money for it. I do have an app where I can use my iPhone as I'm looking at it right now because people are texting me, but it's all okay because the show's almost over. I have an app where I can actually use my iPhone as a camera, but the problem is that I'm not able to read stats off of it or screenshot stuff because I was looking down at stats right here on my phone, and also notes I wrote down that I have below me so you guys don't see it. Kind of like a teleprompter, not to sound like a politician, but I don't like using my phone, I should say, as a camera because it kind of takes away some of my freedom with the stuff I have saved on my phone and stuff, and also playing music in the background for you guys too, because the start off music with me dancing around celebrating that it's Batman Day and Notre Dame's victory, 52-0, was all coming from the iPhone. Yes, I know it's not off of a mixer, which I do have a mixer right now talking to you guys through because like I said, I'm on a shoestring budget. But once I upgrade the camera, that blurriness will go away, and it just pisses me off because sometimes I just want to take that camera and throw it up against the wall. But that is pretty much it today, guys. Thank you for another episode of Honest About the Irish and joining me. I hope you have some friends that love Notre Dame. Get them to like this channel and subscribe to it as well, or I should say like this video and subscribe. And also check out my Facebook page too. Those of you who are on Facebook, make sure you subscribe to my Honest About the Irish Facebook page where I will sell t-shirts. That's the route I'm going with, by the way. I decided to ditch the website because I didn't feel like paying $35 a month. Like I said, I'm on a shoestring budget. But again, final score, Notre Dame 52, South Florida nothing. Notre Dame takes on Wake Forest next Saturday out in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, I believe. That game will be on ABC at 11 a.m. Central Time. Whoa, Nelly, go Irish. And that is pretty much it today. Let me put my start-off music on here. Again, guys, I am an amateur. I don't have a producer. I pretty much suck at this. But you know what? This is all for fun because this is a hobby for me. And I love you guys. And thanks again for watching. And go Irish. As I turn up the music here to end the video. Goodbye, everybody. As the camera blurs out again, I'm going to break the camera in half. Go Irish.